How did that even happen? Okay. That's weird. Okay. All right, sorry. Trying to make sure everyone is muted, and there's a couple people I'm trying to mute, and it won't mute. So, anyway, if you guys hear feedback or anything, please let me know. Just put it in the chat, and we'll figure that out. All right. So, welcome to the webinar. Today, we're going to be learning about Collage and how to do a Collage and ChatterKid or ChatterPix, and kind of take your apps and iPad and kind of apps them all together to make some awesome creations. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So here we go. There we go. Oh, Kristen raised her hand. Hopefully that means you can hear us, Kristen. Or me. I'm the one talking at the moment. Okay. Looks like Kristen 2 different ways, but hopefully you're good. Go. As long as you can hear me, you're okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make this full screen here so that you guys can just see my iPad that's now black. Come on. Oh. Why not do it? Okay. We're just going to deal with my lovely background back here. All right, so when you download Collage, you're given lots of options. And you probably have already tried Collage before, whether it's personal or in your classroom. There's a couple of different things that you can do with Collage. I'm going to be talking about the freestyle version today, but I'll just go to grids really quick so you can see. So if you wanted to combine, like let's say, combine all these pictures right here, 8 pictures, then it's going to give you a nice grid that kind of shows all the pictures, and then choose how I want them to be rearranged. On top of them, then I can add text or anything like that. So that's kind of thing I've seen that a lot of people do is they make grids of their pictures, or maybe you want to post something to social media or anything like that. Twitter, Facebook, or anything. Then posting a grid sometimes is nice because it's all in one picture. So what we're going to do is just look at the freestyle one right now. When you first look in freestyle, you have the photos, and photos is great because you can actually add, so let's say, here's a little snowman that my daughter drew there. When you add the photo and it's not in a grid, you can make it smaller, you can make it bigger, however that you would like to put it. So you can really do a lot more with just that one photo as well, just by double tap on it. Sometimes I even tell the kids just to hold their finger on it, and it will do the same thing. So my different options here. So effect kind of like a filter if you've done Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. It's going to let you do just different effects. So I can, turn black and white, different colors, however I want to do it. I wouldn't necessarily show your kids, show your kids how to do that because they don't really need to waste time on doing that. But if you were creating something for them to do, then you can always change. So there are different overlays and everything that you can download on here, but just for the sake of we don't do anything, I'm just going to show you what is available without doing that. So I'm going to kind of flip through so you can see there's just different frames that you can add. You can adjust the colors. You can adjust, you want to turn it, which I think you don't really need to turn it when you can just use your fingers, but they're the grid. You also have the color, so when you put in there, it kind of changes, like you just wanted his hat to be the color, or you just wanted the snowflake to go back to the color. You can make that like to be black and white with just one color. That's how you would do that. Then the eraser is where it would just turn it back to black and white, which is pretty cool. Okay, crop, I know from other things, but let's just say I wanted just a snowflake. I could put that there. You could crop it to a square or any different sort of dimensions. Drawing is you're drawing on top of it. You can blur different things. So let's just say I'm going to blur his face. This is nice, just a little tidbit. If you were going to post something on social media and a kid could end a photo, blur always good. This is, you're choosing where the focus is, and you can see on the outside of the picture, it's blue, and so it just kind of creates a fuzzy, blurry frame for you. You can kind of move it over, and then everything else in the picture will be blurry. Then we have with what kind of picture that you've taken. If this wasn't annoying, whiten if you wanted to your teeth, or blemish if there was something on there that you wanted to kind of cut. So that's just from just that yellow circle has all of those different things. And like I said, that's not really a circle I would share with my kids unless maybe you're third, fourth, or fifth grade and you want to kind of take it a little further. But just so you know that it's there. The next out, and this is really if you wanted to cut the picture a specific shape. So you wanted them to make a picture with different shapes that mean kind of like pattern blocks, and pictures to be that certain shape, and that's how you would do it. You could use scissors, which is that first option, and just kind of do free form like that. It out. This is really great. Like if you have a picture of one of your kiddos. So let me just see if I. Right. Oh, look, there's my kid making a silly face. I just see pictures of my whole family as I'm scrolling through here. Okay, I should say this is a picture of one of my kids, and I want to kind of cut it out. It kind of looks cut out, but what you can do is just kind of move your finger along there, and so that way it kind of gives them a little cutout, and they can change the background to a different picture. So there, and there's my little cutout of my person, and then they can move around and tell the story or whatever it might be that you're doing in Pick Collage. A duplicate is really nice because let's say they want to make a story about 3 snowmen. It's just going to copy that snowman, excuse me, and put in there, and then now you have 3 snowmen. 3 snowmen. Goodness me. The next one is back, and so that's just right now because I added my picture portrait of last. It's going to put it underneath that image. So all of these, it's going to be underneath. But if I wanted the C in the back, then when I click on it, I move it to the back, move it back, move it to the back. So then now she goes on the top of them. And that's kind of what order the images are when you click on them. The purple one is set as background, and that's really, it will make it big, as you can hear. And all these I can move around, but this one, this I'm not able to move. Okay, so I'm going to just undo. Good button to teach your kiddos as well is that back arrow that's up at the top to undo or redo something that they made a mistake on or whatnot. This one's border. I'm thinking you know what that is, but just to show you, there's all these different colors. There's also shadow that you can apply, but let's just say I wanted to add blue. It's going to apply it to the pictures that I put in there, and then also add a shadow. So it kind of just gives it, if I zoom in here, you can kind of see that little gray bar around the outside.
And then instructional focus.
So, and then the other I can add, I can take off the apply all and just say that I just want that one blue, the border. Okay, so and the last one is trash. There's different ways to throw it in the trash. One is you can click on the trash can. Other one is you just start dragging it up to the top and the trash can appears. And when you to the trash can, you just let it go. And there's, okay. So now, let that, my little men want to go inside the house because it's cold. So the house, them. So what I'm going to do is click on the plus sign, and we're going to go to doodle, which is that kind of core one right there. When your students get into doodle, or you're going to see each page, or if you've added images, you'll see that on there. So exactly where to draw. You see this little hill right here, which is what I tell the students, that ball goes down the hill and rolls up the hill, and the ball gets bigger when it goes up the hill. And so that's really how big that they are going to want their image. So let's say halfway, I'm going to make my house here, and I'm going to draw fast, so please excuse my quick draw. But here's the house, and they can draw, all one of the doors. No, that's too big. They have an undo button at the top. They can make they're smaller. Then I can draw my door windows, however you want them to do it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. All right, house. Beautiful. Okay, now once I'm finished, I can click on the check mark in the corner, and I have a house. And my house actually becomes a picture. So I can make my house smaller. I can make my house bigger. I want to write a word problem to my house that goes with snowmen in my house. So I'm going to click that pink box with the A and starting my problem. So I can say, snowmen, whoa, were hide in the cold. One snowman wanted to go home. How many snowmen stayed outside? Whoop. Obviously, that text is crazy big, so I'm just going to take my two fingers, and I know you can't see my fingers, but they are vertical, so one on top of the other, and I'm just going to pinch down. When I pinch down, it's going to make the text smaller, but it's going to stay on top of each other. If I put my fingers side by side and I pinch, or not pinch, but like pull my fingers apart outward, it's out the text. So that's two different things. You have your fingers on top of each other, you can go out, woo, and go in, or you can put your fingers next to each other and squeeze it in, or squeeze it out. So, right, I just heard it go, But that is why sometimes your text just will just get bigger and you can't spread it apart. Okay, but I said they were out in the cold, so I need to change the background. So when I click on that plus sign, I'm going to choose the purple with ground. And all of the first ones are going to be all solid colors there. But on this next rectangle here at the bottom, it's going to give me different backgrounds. And luckily, with the free one, you have a lot of backgrounds that are locked, so you have a ton of backgrounds for your students to choose from, but that's to where they can find something. So here is kind of a snow background they can choose, or they can choose a different one, however they want. Okay, so let's this one. But now I can barely see my text on there. So you can choose a sticker and then just add maybe a different. All these on here are the ones that it shows right away are free, or I can choose a speech bubble. I'll choose both of them and see which one I like better. So I'm going to choose this one. Again, I can pinch it out, or I can pinch it this and then put the problem on there. And remember, again, it's in the front. So if I hold it down, or excuse me, tap it, I can click back, and then my text will be right here. Then I can make it work.
Everyone's body's different, but sometimes.
Like, now, if I wanted to do the bubble, then I can just take this, throw it in the trash, do my speech bubble here because we think that she's going to be talking because we're going to put in ChatterKid, and then pinch my problem, put a speech bubble. There we go. Okay. And I didn't really show you all the fonts that they have on here because most of the time I use the quicksand font just because of the way letters are written. Having taught kinder for 7 years, I like the letters to be written how I want my students to write them. But they have a lot of other fonts on here that you can choose from. But if you want to do that one where it's your handwriting to be done, then I would choose quicksand. You can also change the color of your font if you wanted to do black or whichever. And you can change background color if I wanted this really, if I have the speech bubble and I just wanted a background so it stood out, I can do that. So that way it have, just to show you, I don't have that speech bubble, I can just leave it like this. To add the sticker of a speech bubble, it just gives it some effect on there, but
do your boobies
so. Right, so now I have my story. The 3 snowmen were outside in the cold. 1 snowman wanted to go home. How many snowmen stayed outside? And so I have everything I want there. And hopefully just from that, you've just learned something you can change and do in Collage. But now we'll take it a little bit further. We're going to go to ChatterKid. So up in here in the corner, I'm going to click Done. And then I'm going to save to Library. Then you're okay, Sarah. So once it's saved to library, then I can go to ChatterKid.
It might be.
Okay.
I'm free. You might be. I'm just letting you know. Like, be prepared.
Okay. Now, in ChatterPix, feedback. I noticed some people don't have their mic on, but okay. So now in ChatterPix, because it was saved as an image, I can take photo, but down here in the bottom left corner, I can find my photo, put it in ChatterPix. Now, it's automatically going to think what size that you want, but you can just move it up and down or pinch, to however big you want. I personally cutting off the house a little bit. It's just this that you can have for that. You can also zoom in really far. Kids probably have noticed that before already. Okay, so just going to click next because it's already done. I can draw my mouth. I'm going to draw my mouth on the person because I want her to be talking. And then
Record in 3, 2, 1, go.
3 snowmen were outside in the cold. 1 snowman wanted to go into. How many snowmen stayed outside? Or want to go home? You get it. Okay, so now when I do it, 3 snowmen were outside in the cold. Her mouth moves. Isn't that awesome? So I just created the story problem and put it in there. You can have the students even read and answer it all in one if you want, or maybe some higher kids that to make their own problem and then the kids can solve it. However you do that. All they do is next. You have to do this part, but a lot, I just have them click on the text box to add. They can also do and pick collage with the text. Just and have them add their name somewhere is because when I'm looking through the camera roll or if something's lost or whatever it might be, I can see exactly which picture it is. So I'm going to click next. And then that little iPad circle down here at the bottom is how they're going to save it to their camera roll. About saving it to the camera roll is that it is easily uploaded into things like Seesaw. If you're using Class Dodo, you can upload that as well. It's you can upload it into Google Classroom. It's a little bit harder on Google Classroom, but it's possible. And Class Dodo is done, and it's very simple. Okay, we're going to go back to Pick Collage real quick because I'm not done with showing you some great stuff. Okay, back to freestyle, and I'm going to go back to doodle because what I have had students recently is draw an animal of doodle, and then they talk about their animal. So some people did polar animals in December. Some people are coming up on their animal peaks about, fur, feathers, scales, all that good stuff. So they can draw their animal and they can take up the full screen because like I showed you before at the house, it can easily be moved around. So what we're going to do is we're just going to draw an animal. So I wanted to draw, what animal should I draw?
A panda. Can you do a
panda?
I love pandas.
Oh,
and they're black and white.
Yeah, true. I know, but
Bunny rabbit?
I know. Well, of course she says panda in my mind. This is
Teddy bear.
Panda, what?
Teddy bear.
Okay.
Just plonk out the
Panda's cute.
Oh.
We'll just do like that's close to teddy bear, right?
Brown bear.
Okay, so what I have them do is this is the closest brown down to this tan version, and go about 3/4 of the way up, and they're coloring the whole thing. So they're going to move their ball all the way up the hill. Figure this whole thing in. La, la, la. This is the part. La, 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 la. You have to say la, 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 too. So you're going to color it all in. All right. Then at the top here, they're going to draw their ears, and I just go ahead and have them use the big size pin or marker. So, and I'm doing it cloud like that because they're going to be furry. You guys knew that, right? Right. Okay. I have furry ears. I have them use white, gray, or pink and color in the ears. So like the ends of the ear. Ooh. So that's not too good. You just have to bear with me. All right. Then what they do is they're going to draw their eyes. Boop, boop. Yes. And they're going to draw like a nose. So a lot of times they just have like a round nose. And mouth, depending animal, I tell them, ooh, wowzers. I tell them to make like a W, which my W didn't really come out very well. Let me try again. W that. Or just make a line if they feel more inclined. Either way. So if you do, they can draw like a little. If it's is in colder weather, they can maybe draw their cheeks. Blush. Okay, I'm just going to draw my bear like this. Now, when I'm done with my bear, then I can click on the check mark. There he is. And just like that snowman, I'm shrinking him, bears, and make a problem. Or, especially for the younger kiddos, I can leave him. Whoopsie daisies. There we go. And big and full screen, and then I can just add background. And so we did this with some first graders, and just asked them to think about the habitat that their animal lives in. So I could put green. I can go over here and maybe put some trees. Maybe this bear lives in the forest. If it's a polar bear, maybe it's snowing where they're at. And, just different things. If they live in the rainforest or by the water, just to them kind of think about maybe it rains, or maybe it's at nighttime. Maybe they're an owl or something and they're awake at night. Nocturnal. They choose the little forest right there, and I do my check mark, and then that's all they need to do. So they just draw their animal with the doodle, they add their background, they click done, save query, and again, they're going to go to Chatter Kid. Here we go. I think that's the one downside Chatter Kid is that if you were to go to another app and you come back to it, it starts all over again. It does the duck, duck, moose, everything. You can just go back to where you were. So that's why it's definitely a must that you save your pictures to the camera roll so it's easy to come back to. So I'm going to use that camera roll down here in the bottom corner. I'm going to choose bear. And as you can see, we've done this with lots of different ones. We've done rabbits, foxes, polar bears, all different kinds of animals with different backgrounds. Some up here. Okay. Then there's bear. I can move him down. I can move him up. I just tell your students that we need to make sure we can see his mouth on there. Then next, and again, I'm line, and I'm going to talk about my bear.
3, 2, 1, go!
Brown bear. I live in the forest. I eat berries. Okay. Listen.
I am a brown bear. I
Look
live
at
in the forest.
that.
I eat.
Talking. Click next. Again, if you want them to, they can add text to our name. Really just tell them to add and kind of hide it somewhere, like so it doesn't mess up their or their picture. Saved. And there. Okay. Let's say that you wanted to kind of create something for like background for them to do themselves. So I'm going to go back to Pick Collage here. I'm going to choose Freestyle, and let's say my teacher put a picture in the camera roll for me. Picture, and I'm going to know what it is, the speech bubbles. Now the thing is, in your camera roll, you can put pictures into different folders. So if you make a folder that says 1, 3 or ABC for what certain centers or how to call them, then you can show the students how they can just look in that folder for a template. Or if you want to just call it making words or whatever it might be, Okay, so I have my picture here. I can double tap on it as the background so it's big and ready to go. And then I can use Doodle and I can practice my popcorn words. So I can choose whatever text I want, and I can write them with my hand. So let's say I have, oh, that's real big. Okay. Ooh. The iPad is like the smart board sometimes. It's not connecting very well. Now, using the undo button because that's just out of habit for myself, but there is an eraser. If you to the end, it's this little guy here, and then use the eraser and erase it all. Okay, come on, have. So then let's just say we're practicing the popcorn tab. I can make tabs in all different fonts. I can do check mark. I can text. I can type have. Oh, I don't want capital. Have. Here. You can even have it where you rainbow letters. So let's just say I'm going to delete this one. Delete that one. I'm going to add an H. And I'll make it all colorful. Oh, that's background. Pretty. There. Make it as big as the sparkly. Awesome. And then to do is I like to duplicate it, but come on, duplicate. And then tap on it and change the letter, but they can also just add a new letter if they want. Come on. Duplicate. Change it. You know they can like these glittery ones. Okay. Back to the V. You gotta teach your kiddos about the capital though, because it will do that automatic capitalization. I can do the okay. So click done. Or if you want your kids to do more, I can knock around and use the speech bubble as different. Let me show you as different words. So I can choose my photo, choose the speech bubbles, and I can here. I can do another word right here. I can duplicate a word right here. Do you see what I mean? And then they could spell have. They could spell win. They could spell like. They could spell see. And the last speech bubble could be the word or whatever it might be. Okay, so I'm going to use this tab right here, and I'm going to share it to the library because I just want that. Really, they don't have a person or an animal to put in there. They could easily just do this, you know, make whole, whoops, just make their thing talk. It does the A will talk, then the A, then the V, and then the E. They'll do all.
In 3, 2, 1. Go.
H-A-V-E, have. And then their things.
A-V.
Oh, it went up because I drew it the wrong way. There you go.
H-A-V-E, have.
And then in there. So, again, you don't have to have a person. They can draw a line with anything. But if you want them to go back and to add you know, maybe something in there like something that I had before, like, you know, let Ollie, or that doesn't make sense, letter Linda to talk, then you can put her in there. Now, this little button down here at the bottom, I had pushed it before, but I didn't talk to you about what that was. This is going to shrink the dimension, so if you make it a square, it's going to kind of change it a little bit, so that way when you do put it into ChatterKid, it won't cut off the top and the bottom. If you don't want to show your kids that, that's fine, because it doesn't cut off that much of the top and bottom, but just so you know how to get there, if you're on the square, you can do that, and then you can still move everything around like you would, and then you can make sure that she's standing in, you can put her in the middle, however, and then sorry guys. It's going to be on repeat in your head, I think.
Welcome.
All right. So again, take photo. Same thing. So here she has a border on her, which I didn't notice when I was there because I was doing it quickly. I had to take the border off. Sorry, guys. So because remember back when I was doing the snowman, it had a border. So I'm just going to click the border, scroll the no sign, and then do the same thing. I think you could is that anything that you're going to add in the ChatterKid can talk. Now, to save it to the camera roll, as long as they get to the very end, I'll show you.
3, 2, 1, go. A-V-E, have. I have 3 cookies. Okay, then they click next. As they get to this screen, it will save it. Even if they forget to click this button right here, that's one reason why I would recommend them adding their name, whether they add it as Collage or they add it as text in ChatterKid, because that way, if you don't see it in Seesaw, if you don't see it in your email, or however you have your kids sending it to you, then you can go back, or they can go back to the camera roll and save it and resend it. Gallery now, I can see all of the different things that I've done, and then I can and listen to them and all that good stuff. So what I want to do right now is I want to show you an example of one of the ones that a student did. And I'm going to turn down the sound a little bit from the computer so you can hear.
I am a snowshoe tail. I have books. I like to eat this pen. I live and change colors. I mostly change colors. I turn white in the snow in the winter. Turn brown when I'm in the sun. I eat plants.
Okay, just so you can kind of gather some information about when this was done, we did pick Collage to ChatterKid, just like I had showed you, and then they put it into Seesaw, as you can see. But they were in the library. Every single had an iPad, and they were all recording. So what's real is you did hear some noise in the background, but we could very clearly hear their voice. And because I teach them where the microphone is, and I teach them to hold the iPad either on their chest or to put it on the table with the microphone facing toward them so that they can see. And if you're wondering where the microphone is on your iPad, most iPads that you have, which if you have an older version, it's going to be a little different, but if you look at the cover of your iPad at the very top, like where the power button is, in the very middle of your iPad is a little bitty opening, like pencil, probably a little bigger than a pencil. That is the microphone.
So sometimes your students will see the speaker at the bottom and think that's the microphone, and they're really putting the microphone away from them toward another student, and so it picks up the other student a lot more clearly. So I just make sure to teach their students where the microphone is on the, and I have my students hold their iPad at their chest, so they're talking right into the microphone, and I can hear them even with a room full of 20 other students talking at the same time. So just a little tidbit that I have on here. They did load this into Seesaw, which I'm going to show you how to do that real quick, just in case you're a Seesaw user and you're wondering how to do that. Anything that oh, wonderful. Anything that you have that's saved in the camera roll can be uploaded into Seesaw. Oh, Megan said she knew a reminder about the microphone for sure. Yeah, no problem about the reminder. That was one thing that I did in my classroom all the time. My coworker, or on my team were always wondering, how do you have them all recording at the same time? I'm like, well, talking to the microphone, it works pretty well. They don't have to fight each other for sound and all that. So I'm find a little cute. I have so many things open at the moment that, oh, okay, here it is. That is crazy. All right, there we go. All right, so here is a Seesaw class. And as you can see, it's just all celebrities. But all the students have to do is click the plus sign on camera roll, and then just go. They can go to recently added or even all photos to get what they need. I just tell them to look for their picture. I want this one. Now, what you will notice is this one doesn't have a mouse. So this one downloaded from ChatterKid. So go back to my ChatterKid. Then I go back to my gallery now. Go back over here because now it's recorded, and I click on that iPad button to export to the camera roll. This exported. You'll see that little check mark, and then the student can know that they can put it into another app. So when I go back to my app with camera recently, then I use it, and you can see. Okay. You can see not only does it start talking to me, but not only does it start talking to me, but it also has the ChatterPix logo here at the bottom. So that's a great way for you to tell your students to make sure that they are choosing the video, that it starts talking to them once they get into Seesaw, and it's the ChatterPix. That's the best way for them to kind of figure it out. So they're going to click on the green check mark. They choose their name. I'll be Adele today. And they click on the check mark again. Fold if you want. Like I could put it in the SiteWorks folder. And then it's turned in. If some of you don't have Seesaw, so I'm not going to go into details, but we ended up creating an activity for the students to put their work in, because it was really easy. Like if I click on here, I can see who has responded and who hasn't. So I can see Keys is doing a good job of responding, and all these people have not responded. So if you see if students have done the popcorn word or have done the polar animal or what it might be, then, and you're putting it into Seesaw, I would recommend creating an activity so that it's really easy for you to see who still needs to work on it and who is finished. Okay. Okay, back to Collage. There's not of other things that you can do in Pick Collage, and I'm going to go from the iPad for a minute and just show you the polar animal idea. Let me just take this off real quick. Okay. On this website, it's called Good Winnovate, and I'm going to copy this link for you and put it inside the chat because she's great. She's on all, as you can see, like all the social medias. I would follow her. When you click on the website, it might ask you to log into the filter. I don't know why it's blocking her website, but
That's for that.
She has, they have some great ideas on this website. So I'm just going to kind of show you. So here's a quick drawing she did with the doodle pin. And there's just so many cool things. And so what I did was I just right-clicked these and saved them as an image. And then them as directions, which she has on here for to do. And she has her little symbol in the corner, so it gives her credit. It also has making words with Pick Collage. So she has a lot of great things on here. It kind of walks you through what to do and how to do it. She has higher level things and lower level things, kind of just to give you overall view what you can do in Pick Collage. So if you go to goodwinnovate.com and you click Had Ideas and you scroll down, she has making words with Pick Collage, which is what I just had up. She also has stop motion with Pick Collage. Some great things that even myself, I use Pick Collage and ChatterKid a ton when I taught kindergarten and second grade, when they had come out, when these apps had come out, and there were so many things that I did not realize I could do apps after looking at her page. I just did the simple, okay, kid, add the picture and put ChatterKid and then record. There wasn't much in there. So for challenge that you're asked to do, I'm just going to go to that challenge real quick. Oh, Sarah handed me the paper that says it on there. It says to use Doodle to draw your favorite person or animal, save image to the camera roll, and then in ChatterKid use your saved image and record 3 facts. So that's really what I wanted to show you. And there are, let me pull up the thing. So what to do is kind of spend these last 10 minutes so that 1, you can ask questions. 2, you can, if you have your iPad in front of you, you can try it out with your iPad and complete the challenge. And 3, just kind of give you time to explore. And so that way, if someone does have a question or an idea even, we can share it with everyone on here so you guys can kind of see what some other things that we could do. So I'm going to give you some time. You have about 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and in chat put the in for this webinar. So don't forget to find it. There we go. The Google form is in the webinar, and that is just to sign in for this webinar. It's not for the challenge. And if you do not want to complete the challenge, don't worry about it. It's just a personal goal challenge. It's not anything you have to do. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute here and just see if anybody has any questions. I would really like for you to try to do Pick Collage, even if you want to see something specific on that way we can show you and make sure that you know exactly what's going on, what to do. I was talking to you and I was on mute. Yes, you can play with it tomorrow, and if you do, please send me a picture. That would be awesome. And yes, it's definitely a cute and quick way to draw animals. Our unit on land forest, great assignment for kids to create and ooh. They insert pictures from around their neighborhood. That way, or they could just maybe have one picture from their neighborhood and then they draw like a picture of themselves, like kind of cut out, and that's unnecessary. All the rest, like as if there was a mountain behind their house or something like that with the doodle. Label it. I'll have to be. There's some cool things you can do, Bella. But I will get with you on that one. Me too. I'm excited. So she said she did, and then I laughed at me because I was talking to her on mute. Well, 5 minutes left, and so if you guys have filled out the Google form, I really appreciate you sticking around and kind of hanging out and out with Pish and ChatterKid and how to kind of put them all together. So if you have a Google form, we will see you later. Happy Monday. Thanks for sticking out tonight or this afternoon. Oh, I send you the challenge. Let me get Google form for you so I can show you that. For Sarah's
the slides. I have that.
do you let me see what she said. Lauren, you want the challenges or you want to send it to us like the Google form? Send you. I'm thinking the Google form. Okay. Sarah, go ahead and put perfect. Sarah, go ahead and put both. She's going to put the list of all the challenges, what they are, and then she's going to link the Google form to submit your challenge. Yeah, completed. We're making punch cards for you so we can keep track. It's going to be some